Have you ever witnessed a mother violently slap her own daughter at a family wedding in front of 200 guests? So imagine this exact scenario. You are standing on a raised, spotlit stage at the South Park Country Club. 200 pairs of eyes, investment bankers, real estate moguls, and Charlotte's absolute elite are staring directly at you in dead silence. Your own mother just shoved a thick, heavy stack of legal documents against your chest. She is demanding you sign over your $3.5 million uptown penthouse as a wedding gift to your younger sister. You look her dead in the eye and say no. Her palm connects with your cheek. The sickening crack echoes through the cavernous ballroom. My vintage silver earring rips free from my earlobe and skitters across the polished marble floor, stopping at the feet of a horrified waiter. I locked my jaw. My skin burned like fire, but I forced my breathing to slow down. I bent down, scooped up the cold silver metal, and walked straight out the heavy double doors. I pulled my phone from my clutch and made exactly one call. A call that permanently ended my mother's flawless, high society life. My name is Morgan Carter. I am 31 years old, and I teach 11th grade English at a public high school here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Every single day, I deal with teenage tantrums, vicious hallway bullies, and kids who genuinely think screaming louder makes them right. People often ask how I stay so incredibly calm when a student completely melts down in my classroom. They have absolutely no idea that managing unhinged, narcissistic behavior was my primary childhood training. My mother, Erica Carter, is a prominent South Park socialite. Her entire existence revolves around public perception and maintaining a pristine image. If you scroll through her social media feeds right now, you will see a literal saint. She is the chairwoman of a prominent senior citizens charity foundation. She posts highly edited photos of herself holding hands with the elderly, attending massive fundraising galas, and writing long, self-righteous captions about the importance of family duty and giving back to the vulnerable community. Behind closed doors, her reality is a terrifying, desperate illusion. Erica is drowning in massive, hidden debt. Her luxurious lifestyle is a fragile house of cards, built entirely on maxed-out credit lines, unpaid contractor bills, and predatory loans. To keep up appearances and hide her financial ruin, she shoved my 78-year-old grandmother, Christina, into an isolated, sterile care facility 3 towns over. The place smelled constantly of bleach and abandoned hope. Erica confidently told everyone in our social circle that Christina was losing her mind and becoming a severe danger to herself. The truth was much darker. Christina was sharp as a tack. She simply saw exactly who her daughter was. Christina knew Erica was actively bleeding the family dry, and she took quiet, brilliant legal steps to protect what was left of her legacy. Without telling anyone in the family, Christina updated her will and legally transferred the deed of her $3.5 million uptown Charlotte penthouse directly to me. I was the only family member who drove out to visit her on Sundays. I was the one who brought her groceries, listened to her stories, and sat with her in comfortable silence. When the massive property transfer cleared the county records and Erica finally found out, the psychological warfare officially began. My mother initiated a brutal, highly calculated whisper campaign. She immediately removed me from every single family group chat. She called my aunts, uncles, and distant cousin, crying fake crocodile tears, claiming I had ruthlessly manipulated a senile old woman into handing over a fortune. My father, Wesley Carter, watched the entire smear campaign happen from his expensive leather armchair. He completely enabled her, choosing comfortable silence over defending his eldest daughter, nodding along to whatever Erica said just to keep the peace in his own house. My younger sister, Vanessa, the ultimate golden child of the family, treated my inheritance as a personal theft of her future luxury lifestyle. They iced me out completely. I spent the holidays entirely alone in that massive penthouse, staring at the city skyline, wondering why my own blood hated me so much. They broke my heart back then. Today, I am the one holding the match. 6 months into the silent treatment, I found out about Vanessa's upcoming wedding through a wealthy friend's social media post. She was marrying into a highly prominent banking family. The venue was the most exclusive, expensive country club in the entire state. I was entirely excluded from the planning, the bridal showers, and the rehearsal dinner. Then, exactly 2 weeks before the ceremony, my phone rang. The caller ID flashed my mother's name. I answered it, bracing myself for another insult. Instead, Erica's voice dripped with fake, sugary warmth. She told me the family missed me terribly. She claimed Vanessa's wedding was a beautiful, rare opportunity for us to heal old wounds and move forward as a united front. She explicitly invited me to sit at the head table. I knew immediately it was bait. Erica desperately needed that penthouse. She had completely exhausted every other financial avenue and planned to use my property as collateral for a massive new line of credit to stave off her aggressive creditors. The mask finally slipped the night before the wedding. Furious that I had dodged all of her subtle hints about transferring the deed, she called me at midnight. I let the call go straight to voicemail. I sat on the edge of my bed and listened to the audio recording in the dark. Erica's voice was totally unhinged, slurring slightly, practically vibrating with venomous rage. She screamed that I was an ungrateful parasite stealing from my own sister. Then came the ultimate, unforgivable threat. She explicitly stated that if I did not sign the condo over the next day at the reception, she would personally destroy my teaching career. She swore she would fabricate lies and make sure I never worked in the state of North Carolina again. My chest tightened, a familiar childhood panic rushing through my veins. I wanted to delete the message and hide. Instead, I saved the raw audio file to 3 separate secure cloud servers. Erica had meticulously designed a massive public ambush. She genuinely believed her greatest weapon was social pressure. By cornering me at a country club, surrounded by 200 members of the financial elite and Vanessa's wealthy new in-laws, she thought I would easily cave out of sheer embarrassment. She purposefully locked all the most important people in her life into one room to watch her win. She possessed absolutely no idea she had just built the perfect stage for her own execution. That brings us back to the cold marble floor. The sharp, burning sting on my cheek. The absolute, suffocating silence of the ballroom. I walked out into the cool evening air, pulled out my phone, and dialed Travis Coleman, my grandmother's formidable civil attorney. I spoke 3 simple words. It is time. Within a single hour, the heavy oak doors of the reception hall swung open. Travis walked in, tall and uncompromising, holding a thick leather briefcase. Beside him walked my grandmother, Christina, leaning heavily on her silver cane, her eyes locked dead onto her daughter. The jazz band stopped mid-note. Waiters froze in place. Champagne trays hovering in the air. I stepped back inside, watching safely from the edge of the room. Erica's face drained of all color, her jaw hanging slack as her mother approached the bridal table. Travis bypassed all pleasantries. He did not yell. He did not scream. He simply unclasped his briefcase and dropped a massive, heavily bound legal file directly onto Erica's dinner plate, right on top of her catered meal. He raised his voice just enough to carry over the completely silent crowd. He announced that Erica Carter had been officially served with a civil lawsuit on behalf of Christina Bennett for the fraudulent transfer and massive theft of a $1.2 million Lake Norman waterfront property. A collective gasp rippled through the banking elite. Vanessa's new mother-in-law covered her mouth in sheer horror. Looking physically ill, Travis kept speaking. methodically dismantling my mother's fake life piece by piece. He exposed that Erica had used a corrupt, bribed notary connected directly to her own senior charity foundation to forge Christina's signature, illegally liquidating the lake house to secretly pay off her hidden creditors. Erica stammered wildly, frantically looking at the crowd, attempting to claim Christina was severely senile and confused. Travis cut her off immediately. He pulled a second, thicker document from the briefcase. He announced it was a privately funded, ironclad forensic handwriting report from an independent examiner in Raleigh. Christina had spent the last 6 months quietly draining her remaining savings to hire the absolute best forensic document team in the state. The proof was undeniably flawless. My father, Wesley, shot up from his chair. The blood completely drained from his face as the brutal reality hit him. His signature was on that forged deed as a legal witness. Terrified of federal conspiracy charges and prison time, the cowardly enabler instantly turned on his wife. He pointed a shaking finger at Erica and screamed to the entire room that she had lied to him, aggressively claiming he knew absolutely nothing about the forgery. The perfect, pristine family shattered in front of 200 horrified witnesses. Travis turned back to the crowd, stating clearly that the district attorney already possessed a fully certified copy of the forensic file. He then formally announced he was escorting Christina to a secure, undisclosed estate to thoroughly protect her from Erica's incoming harassment. They turned and walked out together, leaving my mother suffocating in the burning wreckage of her own arrogance. 3 agonizing weeks passed. The district attorney's investigation moved with ruthless efficiency. Police officially arrested Erica at her country club right in the middle of a high-stakes doubles tennis match. They walked her across the pristine green courts in handcuffs, shoving her into the back of a marked squad car in broad daylight. The public humiliation was absolute. However, wealth offers temporary shields. Within 48 hours, Erica posted a massive cash bond and walked out of the county jail. Desperate, facing total bankruptcy, and consumed by venomous rage, she executed a final, terrifying counterattack. She blamed me entirely for her total ruin. Operating from the shadows, she placed an anonymous, highly detailed call to the Charlotte Public School Board. She filed a formal, scathing complaint accusing me of severe elder abuse, aggressively claiming I was psychologically torturing my grandmother to steal her remaining assets. Her goal was completely clear. She wanted to get me fired, ruin my pristine professional reputation, and entirely discredit me as a character witness for the prosecution in her upcoming criminal trial. 2 days later, a stern administrator pulled me directly out of my morning literature class. They escorted me to a sterile, windowless boardroom deep inside the district headquarters. 5 board members sat behind a long oak table, their expressions grim, cold, and severe. They slid a printed copy of the anonymous allegations across the table. My entire career hung by a single thread: an active abuse investigation, even if entirely unproven, could permanently revoke my teaching license, destroying my pension and my livelihood. I texted Travis right before walking in, explicitly telling him to keep Grandma hidden at the secure estate. I completely refused to risk Erica tracking them down. I stepped into that hostile boardroom completely alone, for a terrifying, suffocating moment. It genuinely looked like Erica's vicious manipulation might actually succeed in destroying my life. I stared silently at the 5 board members. My hands shook violently under the heavy oak table, but my voice remained perfectly steady. I did not waste a single second defending my moral character. I simply reached into my leather tote bag and pulled out a thick manila envelope. I distributed a certified, time-stamped digital transcript of the extortionist voicemail Erica had left me the night before the wedding. A paralegal friend had helped me officially subpoena the raw audio log directly from my telecom provider. complete with a notarized affidavit verifying its absolute legal authenticity. I set my phone on the table, turned the volume to maximum, and hit play. Erica's unhinged, slurring threats filled the small, echoing room. The board members read the legally binding paper trail right in front of them while listening to my mother explicitly promise to destroy my teaching career if I did not hand over my real estate. North Carolina operates strictly as a one-party consent state for recordings. The evidence was completely bulletproof. The administration possessed institutional proof they legally could not ignore or sweep under the rug. The lead board member exhaled sharply and slid the fake allegations directly into a shredder. They cleared my name immediately. I walked straight out of the district office, drove my car to the county courthouse, and handed the exact same heavy packet of evidence directly to the lead prosecutor handling Erica's forgery case. Erica was currently out on bail. Executing the exact threat she made against a key witness instantly upgraded her legal nightmare. The prosecutor filed an emergency motion within the hour. A judge issued an immediate warrant for felony witness tampering and extortion. The police kicked down the front custom doors of her McMansion that very evening. They dragged her out in handcuffs for the second time. But this time, the judge firmly revoked her bail entirely. She was permanently remanded to the county jail to await her trial. The social fallout was catastrophic. Vanessa's wealthy new in-laws, utterly terrified of the massive public scandal, forced a legal annulment of the marriage within 30 short days. Wesley, desperately trying to salvage his own ruined reputation, officially filed for divorce. That evening, I stood entirely alone on the expansive balcony of my uptown penthouse. The brilliant city lights of Charlotte glittered far below me, reflecting off the dark glass. The cold wind whipped fiercely through my hair, carrying away the absolute last remnants of my childhood anxiety. I took a deep, grounding breath, filling my lungs with clean, free air. The justice system moves slowly, but it moves with crushing, undeniable weight. 8 long months after the wedding disaster, a judge officially sentenced Erica to 6 years in state prison. With eligibility for parole only after 4 agonizing years, the court ordered complete financial restitution of the $1.2 million she had stolen, completely forcing the bank to foreclose on her remaining assets and properties. Her beloved country club formally revoked her membership. The charity foundation publicly severed all ties, aggressively removing her name from every plaque, brochure, and website. She lost absolutely everything she valued in this world. A few short weeks ago, I received a thick, crumpled envelope in the mail. The return address bore the harsh black stamp of the state correctional facility. I recognized her jagged, hurried handwriting immediately. She wrote 5 long pages attempting to frantically justify her criminal actions, aggressively claiming she did it all to protect the family's elite legacy, begging me to visit her, demanding I remember that she was still my mother. I stood perfectly still in my kitchen, holding the letters. I felt absolutely nothing. No lingering anger. No heavy guilt. No suffocating sadness. Just profound, echoing indifference. I walked straight over to the garbage can and dropped the entire unread stack directly into the trash. I am Morgan Carter, and I am finally, beautifully free. My life today is quiet, deeply peaceful, and filled entirely with people who genuinely respect me. I spend my weekends at the lake with my grandmother Christina, drinking sweet tea and watching the bright boats pass by. I have deliberately built a chosen family of close friends, neighbors, and colleagues who actively celebrate my victories instead of aggressively plotting to steal them. The dark chaos of my past finally feels like a distant, faded nightmare. Sitting in the pure stillness of my home, looking back at the smoking wreckage Erica left behind, I realize that she never actually wanted the physical property. Narcissists do not care about the physical asset. They deeply care about the absolute compliance. The penthouse was a massive symbol of my independence, a space she could not control, and that entirely terrified her. Her downfall was not caused by my revenge. It was caused by her own completely unchecked arrogance. She built her own guillotine. Falsely assuming her social status made her completely immune to normal consequences. Living through this devastating fire taught me 3 absolute, undeniable rules about survival. Rule number 1. Blood does not make you family. Strict loyalty, mutual respect, and emotional safety do. Society constantly conditions us to blindly forgive our parents, no matter what they do. We are repeatedly told to turn the other cheek, to keep the toxic peace, to honor our mother and father unconditionally. But if a total stranger treated you the way your toxic family does, you would have called the police a decade ago. Biology is never a free pass for abuse. You owe absolutely nothing to the people who use your shared DNA as a weapon to extract your resources. Rule number 2. The absolute loudest people in the room are always the most fragile. Erica desperately needed an audience of 200 wealthy elites to feel powerful. She required a grand stage, a microphone, and public humiliation to enforce her will. True power is absolutely quiet. True power is a saved voicemail, a well-prepared lawyer, and a steady, unbreakable boundary. It is completely refusing to shatter when someone expects you to break. When you finally stop reacting to their noise, their entire illusion of control collapses completely, leaving them with nothing but their own hollow echoes. Rule number 3. Boundaries without severe consequences are just suggestions. For 30 long years, I asked nicely to be respected. I begged for basic human decency. Absolutely nothing changed. It was not until I entirely stopped asking and started strictly enforcing letting the law, the undeniable truth, and the severe consequences fall exactly where they deserve to fall that I actually reclaimed my dignity. You absolutely cannot heal in the exact same environment that broke you. Sometimes, the absolute only way to protect your peace is to burn the bridge to the ground and never look back. If you are sitting in a toxic family text thread right now, violently biting your tongue to keep a peace that does not actually exist, I strongly need you to ask yourself a very hard question. How much more of your own precious life are you willing to set on fire just to keep them warm? You are allowed to walk away. You are absolutely allowed to protect your future. Tell me your story in the comments below. Let this be the exact sign you were desperately waiting for to finally pack your bags and step fully into your own power. Subscribe to this channel if you need a constant reminder of your worth. And remember the most important lesson of all. Protecting your peace is never a crime. It is your absolute right.